Bitcoin is breaking out right now, and we have a very big week coming up for crypto. We have PPI coming in on Wednesday, and we have the most important one, CPI, coming in on Thursday. And this is really going to determine what Powell says in his upcoming FOMC speech, which is on September 17th. We all know he's going to cut. The question is a 50 basis point cut potentially on the cards? Polymarket's giving it a 10% implied probability right now, but if the CPI comes in really low, okay, if inflation comes in low, I wouldn't be surprised if a 50 basis point cut occurs. Now, obviously, it's a 10% chance on Polymarket. That would absolutely shift depending on the CPI data that we get. But I'm just saying it, guys. It is a possibility we get a 50 basis point cut. It's not personally my base case, but I think a lot of people are not expecting it whatsoever. And if it happens, markets are going to go parabolic out of the FOMC event. So in today's video, we're going to discuss Bitcoin. We're going to look at the breakout that is occurring right now. We're going to look at the levels we need to get above in order to continue this uptrend and get back above 124K, which is our all-time high. We're also going to discuss the fear and greed. We're going to discuss the altcoin index, and I'm going to be showing you a few charts which look absolutely primed to break out and bring about parabolic gains in the altcoin market. Guys, this is going to be a top-tier video, so make sure you've left a like. Leave a comment as well. What are your favorite altcoins to be buying right now? And we'll get straight into it. So as we can see here, Bitcoin has had a nice breakout. We rejected at the previous swing high, and now we're making a move trying to get back to that level where we rejected at around 113.5K. The stock market just opened green today, and obviously markets are front-running rate cuts. Markets are going risk on into rate cuts. And one of the number one indexes to look at when it comes to risk on attitude within markets would be your Russell 2000. This is your small cap index in the US. Obviously, you have the S&P 500, which is the top 500 companies, and that is very high cap weighted. The likes of the Mag 7, Amazon, Nvidia, they take up a huge portion of that pie, whereas the Russell 2000 is much more spread across the micro caps or the smaller cap stocks. And you can see here that it is trying to make a new high. We have two clear all-time high rejection points here that we double topped at. And you can see here, before we hit this all-time high, we had a parabolic move to the upside in 2021. That also coincided with the last crypto bull run in 2021, where we had a major move up with altcoins. Now we are getting that Russell 2000 trying to make a move up. It's going to be very interesting to see where it can go. Now, let's pull up the RSI on the Russell 2000, because I wouldn't really be looking at the stochastic on a larger time frame. If you look at the 2-week RSI here, you can see we're still much lower than where we've been in the past. So the last time we were super high on the RSI, super overextended on the 2-week, we got all the way up to 76 on the RSI. Right now, we're around 61. So there's still a lot of plausibility here that the Russell 2000 could break out, could get above this double top and go into price discovery, which would be insanely bullish for altcoins. Because essentially, altcoins are risk-on investments on steroids. You know, if you think the Russell 2000 is risk-on, crypto altcoins are 10 times, 100 times more risk-on than what the Russell 2000 is. And obviously, if the CPI data comes in super low, super weak, on Thursday, then we could be seeing increased probabilities of certain rate cut scenarios, potentially an increased probability of a 50 basis point rate cut in September, and maybe an increased probability of future rate cuts after September. Because the question is this just a one and done thing, or is this the start of more rate cuts to come? And it's obviously going to be very telling when Powell comes on the stage and starts speaking in literally 9 days time. So get that in your calendars. Now, I have a trade open currently on Bitcoin. As you guys know, I entered that trade pretty nicely, actually. I got in down at the low. If we pull it up on the 4-hour, let's see. So yeah, you can see here, this is my average on this trade down here around 108.4K on Bitcoin. We're starting to move up here, so I'm in 31% profit. Now, I wish I would have put more money into this trade. I barely put anything. It was more of a trade to show my VIP members how profitable trading on Bluefin can be. And you can see right now we're in some nice profits, and it looks like it's going to continue to the upside. So if you guys want to trade on the best crypto exchange, use my link down below. I've heard some people have got major bonuses when they've deposited money. So check it out for yourself, deposit some money, and see what bonuses you get. So the Fear and Greed Index is literally sat at 42, whilst Bitcoin is well above 100K, and whilst Ethereum is very close to its all-time highs. If that is not making you bullish, then I don't know what is. Guys, this is really incredible. I mean, we've got a low fear and greed, almost in fear, actually, if you look at it. Yet the top two cryptos are at their all-time highs. That shows we are about to have another move to the upside. And if you look at the altcoin season index, whilst it's not necessarily flashing that we are in an alt season, it is getting very close to that status. And one thing I'm going to tell you is by the time it gets into this blue bar here, I'm looking at the CoinGlass altcoin season index. You can search this for yourself. By the time it gets into this blue bar anyway, you probably want to stop buying long-term bags, and maybe you just want to be entering short-term trades, because at that point you should have already deployed most of your capital anyway, and just leave it for the noobs, leave it for the newbies to pump your bags. So what I'm going to say here is, whilst everyone's saying we're not in an alt season, we're not in an alt season, by the time most people realize we're in an alt season, it's usually too late, and you should be thinking about taking profits at that point anyway. So right now we're looking good, and I expect this move to bring us into the altcoin index blue bar. And if that is going to be the case, you're going to want to be positioned in the very best altcoins. And I've got one for you today, which looks like it is about to make a crazy move, to say the least. And that is none other than Say. We got in to Say at the lowest price of 15 cents. That is when I gave a VIP buy alert. But right now, it's looking like a possible trade scenario very, very soon. We can see this downward sloping resistance line every single time it has came in contact with this downward sloping resistance line, it has rejected. This has been the story of Say ever since it went up above $1, and it's been in a sustained downtrend, making essentially lower highs continuously. This could be the time where Say finally gets a weekly close above this downward sloping resistance line. And if it does that, I can assure you a big move is coming for Say, potentially up to all-time highs and maybe even higher. So this is one that I'm looking at as a potential trade on Bluefin. You could front run it now and get in, or if you want to be extra safe, you could wait for the weekly close confirmation above this downward sloping resistance line, which I believe would be basically a weekly close above around 30 cents, would validate this trade for me and would make me potentially go long, provided some of the other indicators are also pointing to upside potential. And if you want to do that, obviously, you can open that position on Bluefin. Maybe you could go 3x leverage, 5x leverage, 10x, whatever you like, whatever you feel comfortable with. Make sure you got a stop loss. And there you go. You know, there's a decent chance of massive upside on a coin like Say. And that all comes in perfectly with the rate cuts and with markets going risk on in general. So it all makes sense in terms of the macro picture. Another one which is a bit lower down on its downward sloping resistance line resistance would be Casper. You can see every time we've hit this trend line, we've also rejected on Casper. So I'm looking for a potential breakout above there as well. And I would potentially flip along on Casper as well. Another one which looks great as a potential DCA, maybe a trade as well if you want, would be Sui. Sui came down to the 200-day moving average, perfectly hit it, and perfectly hit the golden pocket at the same time. So we had a double confirmation of support there, and then we got a little bit of a bounce. But it hasn't bounced enough compared to how you would have liked from such strong support being hit. So I believe you're still very early entering Sui here, and there's going to be a big move to the upside. Now I'm going to give you some potential degen buy opportunities. The first one would be Milli. Now, this is the #1 meme coin on Say. And the reason I like this chart is look at that compression. You can see how wide it was initially, how wide the swings were. And then you can see how it's basically been consolidating and compressing. And when you do that, you usually see another major breakout. This is compression 101, the most obvious compression I've seen in a chart in a long time. And it came down to the golden pocket, got a bounce, and continued to compress. This one, to me, looks like it's going to be going up very, very high. And with it being the #1 meme coin on Say, with Say looking like it's about to have a macro breakout, this just confirms it even more to me that Milli is looking like an excellent buy. If you want to buy it, it's not the easiest coin to buy if you don't have a MEXC account, because you'll have to go over to one of the wallets on Say, the Compass wallet, and buy it. But it's pretty simple, you know, once you get the hang of it. I know if you're new to crypto, it's probably going to be quite difficult, but, you know, for most people, you should be able to purchase Milli on the Compass wallet. Or if you have MEXC and you can use that in your nation, then MEXC would be the obvious place to buy it. 3 million market cap, #1 meme coin on Say. Guys, this one looks like it's got a major move brewing after all this compression. And finally, another Degen play would be Peak. This is a layer 1 for DPIN. You can see every single time it's come down to this 5.8 level, it has hit it, got a bounce, hit it, got a bounce, hit it, got a bounce. This is strong, strong support. And if the market is turning around, I expect the bottom to be in on this DPIN layer 1 here at that level. So Peak is another decent DCA if you want a quality, undervalued, low cap layer 1. Guys, I appreciate you watching the video. If you want to join me and hundreds and hundreds of other traders who are winning in this market, trading, also entering long-term positions. There's a genius trader in this group as well who posts his chart alerts into the group, gives you announcements on the breakouts and when there's great opportunities. Then check out that VIP group linked down below. People are winning in this group on a daily basis. I've given out some of the best trades in the market in the last few months. We caught Say down at 15 cents. We were buying Troll before it did a 24x. We caught that whole way up on Troll and a bunch of other coins as well. So if you guys want to start winning in the market, check out the VIP group. If you want to join me for life and have mentorship, one-on-one coaching, one-to-one calls, all that good stuff, check out the big bundle. That is only for the people who want to become multimillionaires in crypto. And check out, finally, the free book a call feature on my page down below. You can call one of my trusted representatives, talk to them about your portfolio, and get things in shape for this next move up. Guys, I appreciate you watching the video. Have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Goodbye.